Recently, unemployment extensions were not included in a budget package, so the Democrats are trying to pass that on their own as a standalone bill. So they want to extend unemployment benefits for some Americans for which it has run out. Now, it already passed a technical hurdle in the Senate. It was important because the Republicans were trying to filibuster it, but the Democrats did muster up 60 votes, including 6 Republicans, to extend it. Now, there's a couple more hurdles to go in the Senate, but then it's got to go to the House. And the House Republicans don't want to do it. John Boehner and the others say, certainly we will not extend it unless you give us a $6 billion offset. In other words, cut the budget $6 billion elsewhere. Now, that's actually could be a reasonable request. But when the Democrats say, oh, great, no problem, we'd like to cut some agricultural subsidies that there's no reason to give. That's government largesse. It's crony capitalism. The Republicans go, whoa, we like that crony capitalism. We want to give away those farm subsidies. So you're going to have to find it elsewhere. You're going to have to take it from other poor people or middle class people, but not the agricultural corporations that we love to give those tax breaks to, of course. So now, we've discovered a new memo that the Republican leadership has that they've sent out to the other Republican congressmen, instructing them how to talk about these issues as if they have empathy for the unemployed. Awesome. Here's how the Washington Post describes it. House Republican leaders sent a memo this week to the entire GOP conference with talking points designed to help rank-and-file Republicans show compassion for the unemployed and explain the Republican position on unemployment benefits. In other words, well, of course we don't actually have compassion for them. So we're going to need to write you a memo so you can learn how to pretend to be a decent human being as if you care about these guys. So now we have the memo. Let me give you some quotes from it. First of all, they explain clearly, quote, Washington has lost its priorities if it's more focused on making unemployment easier to tolerate than it is getting people back to work and restoring independence altogether. Now, I quote you that part because you can see right there in the memo, and they explain throughout, we're not actually going to extend unemployment. We don't actually have compassion for the unemployed, right? In fact, they do a whole, hey, here's what the Democrats might charge, or people who are unemployed might charge you with if you're at a town hall or anything like that. Here's what you should respond to them. And that's largely get your ass back to work, okay? Now, that doesn't fly well, and that doesn't help them with voters, so here's what they were instructed to say instead. Quote, if Democrats can produce a plan that is fiscally responsible as well as does something to actually create jobs, the House will give it proper consideration. So in other words, it's the Democrats' fault that they're not giving us a plan we like, but if they do, we'll give it proper consideration. Don't say you're going to vote for it because we're not going to vote for it, right? Say you'll give it proper consideration. Because we don't like the Democratic plan now, and if they gave us a new one, we wouldn't like it anyway. If they gave us what we wanted, we still wouldn't like it. So we're going to give it proper consideration. And then finally they say, remember to tell people, quote, for every American out of work, it is a personal crisis for them and their family. I love that they've got to be reminded to say that. Now, don't forget, pretend that you're worried about this personal crisis they're going through. But of course, our real answer is, get your ass to work. Now, if they were honest political actors, they could make a real case for, hey, at some point we do have to end unemployment benefits. The Democrats might argue it's 99 weeks. We might argue it's 73 weeks. These are legitimate political arguments. But that's not the argument they want to make. They don't want to spend money on unemployed people. They want to spend money on what? The huge, for example, agricultural corporations that get the subsidies that they are protecting. That's what the Republican priorities are. And every once in a while, they have to be reminded, human beings vote for you. Remember, we have to keep tricking them into voting for you.